A tragic incident that occurred in Japan. A Japanese female live streamer was stabbed by an anti-listener while she was live streaming outdoors and went into cardiac arrest. The anti-listener had previously done gifting or donations to the equivalent of 450,000 yen to the streamer. It is believed that the crime was committed out of resentment for being blocked by the streamer. It may be human psychology to want something in return for giving a large amount of money. However, in light of incidents like this, I think that both those who are watched and those who manage them need to take into consideration that it is not necessarily the case that someone who pays a lot of money is a good fan. And that's very true. I've had people who donate a lot who end up being incredibly schizo, and I've had to ban them from my community previously. It's not a fun thing to have to do, because you also feel like a degree of guilt. Because, like, even if they're acting crazy, you're just like, well, how crazy can they really be, right? Like, they wouldn't be giving me money, they wouldn't be trying to support me if they had bad intentions, right? Like, you have to fight the rational part of your brain because the person isn't being rational. Do you like malls? Oh, you know, I don't want to get skinned alive, as it were. Polt fan, is that you? No, he is not a female Japanese woman. 50,000 yen is about $3,000. With the anti-Elon, anti-American commies, and now these freaks, there's no shortage of having self-preservation. There are a lot of people who are just like, oh, if she had a gun, if she was allowed to own a firearm, she probably would have been fine. I disagree. I disagree solely because if you are live streaming, your attention is already split. So, like, if I was ever going to do something IRL, I would not do it alone, right? Like, Valkyrie had Cinna, and she had, Emiru with her. So it's a group of 3. So they at least have more people there who can pay attention to their surroundings. Because even here in my house, sitting at my computer, when I play a game, my attention is split between, you know, thinking of things I want to talk about, thinking of how to play the game, thinking of where I'm going in the game, remembering things about the game, speaking to people in chat. I have dual chats right now to look at. So, like, there's so much that your attention is split on doing a stream that you physically and mentally cannot be completely aware of your surroundings while you're doing something like that. And that's why I think it's important to not be alone, especially as a woman, if you're doing streams out in public like this, because it's just, unfortunately, not safe. Like, maybe after she got stabbed once, she could have pulled out a firearm and tried to defend herself, but I don't know. I think if she had someone with her, that would have been a better situation. You don't think there would have been any way to stop this that wouldn't be a considerable hindrance on her or the stream? Just never go outside? Yeah, essentially. US mentality to think that anything can be solved with a gun? I don't even think it's a US mentality. I think it's just people who aren't streamers, right? So they don't realize, like, how much mental processing is going on at all times. And so if she was just outside not streaming, then yeah, they'd be correct that a gun would have helped. But because her situational awareness is incredibly deteriorated because of her focus being on her stream, I don't think the gun would have helped. Need smuggle Lana and her Russian screeching to protect you. Guns are the greatest deterrent there is. It's the best option you've got. Still not perfect, of course. The gun isn't gonna matter if she gets blindsided because she's focusing on her chat. Like, there could be, like, yeah, sure, after she gets stabbed once, maybe she could have reached for it and taken him out, and then she wouldn't have gone into cardiac arrest and died. But, like, that's a very big maybe, right? Guns don't work if you don't know it's happening. Situational awareness is better than reactionary decisions. Exactly. It's a better way to phrase what I was trying to say. Thank you. You would take Pippa and Pompakin as your VTuber bodyguards. Yeah, like, if Pippa and I ever manifested, like, the camping kind of streams that we wanted to do, I would definitely be hardlined on, like, one of our fathers should also come with us. I don't know if that would be reasonable because, you know, they'd have work. I don't know how many days we would want to go, but I would feel much better if we had, like, an adult and especially a guy with us. It's hard to win a fight if you don't know you're in one. Yeah, exactly. People should remember the Tueler principle. If a person with a melee weapon is within 20 feet, you're not going to be able to draw fast enough. Do you mean a melee weapon or a melee weapon? Papakin would probably love something like that. Yeah, right? Kirsche and Pippa pulling up with the Halo weapons. An adult? You two are adult women's? When I say, like, an adult, I was, like, misspeaking. I was more thinking of just, like, a man in general. Alright, but for some reason the word adult left my flappy lips. A Malayan weapon! The only advantage of a gun would be advertising that you carry one, and that would likely increase the perceived risk of any would-be assaulter. Oh yeah, I've said for years, like, fucking, I know that I've had schizophrenics, seething about me for a very long time. I've gotten quite a lot of threats in my DMs on Twitter, and it's just like, I don't care if you're a schizophrenic, just, if you come here, I own firearms, so I would suggest not doing so. Please do not come here. Please do not make me read an article about having to kill someone who tried to breach my home. Please do not become my content in that regard, okay? That's just like, oh my god. I'll have to get to that after I finish reading this, but this article made me really sad for, like, multiple reasons. Because it's like, unless you're just never leaving your house, this is something you're going to have to contend with, especially as a streamer. And it's a very frightening thing to think about because, like, you know, there's all these people who, like, when I go on side scrollers or, like, Valiant Renegade, there's people in the comments who are just like, why are you guys talking to a cartoon character? Why doesn't she show her face? Why does she want to, like, hide behind a cartoon? And it's like, well, it's not a surefire way of protecting me from things, but when you look at the female Twitch streamers who have had people come to their houses and, like, set their car on fire, or stab them, or try to rob them, or stalk them, just a myriad of other things. It's like, it's still a layer of safety that I'd prefer to have. How dare you want OPSEC? Fox is the big Gyat Boopa Goth girlfriend. It's not 100%, but it sure as hell adds a layer of protection. And it's the biggest reason I hate the, like, I wouldn't say the biggest reason. I mean, it's still part of, like, adhering to, I guess, the kind of culture you breach into. Right, but, like, when the VTuber fucking versus real face trend goes around, I would be willing to bet 95% of those people do not understand the amount of information they are giving online in the pictures that they post. Because even like, a few years ago, I didn't quite realize all of the information that would need to be censored. I think I brought it up a few times before, but it's like, Sheena did a tweet where it was like, show what's inside your purse kind of thing. And I was like, oh, that's cute. Let me do that. And so I did that. And I had, like, a pair of, like, they were keys for, like, some Dropbox thing that I had. I don't, like, keep my house key in my purse. So I had, like, a Dropbox key, and that was in the picture. And, like, my moderators immediately were like, Kirsche, you shouldn't post pictures like this without running it by us, because somebody can use this picture of the key to actually, like, 3D print a copy of your key and be able to break into your house using that. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, at this point, I knew that, you know, everybody would try to look in any tiny reflection of, like, a bottle, like, even of nail polish or, like, my little bottle of ketchup, to, like, find reflections and shit. But I had no idea about the keys, you know? Distance to grocery stores, brands nearby. Yeah, like, I think it was, Crowder had started using, like, a fake window scene. I can't remember if it was Crowder or Matt Walsh, but one of them started using a fake window scene in their studio because people, like, found where they were based on the way the time of day was in their live streams. They'd need your location, but sure, fine. That's not exactly the hardest thing to get. Joke's on them. Kirsche has a claymore mine behind the door. Wouldn't you need multiple pictures from different perspectives to try to make a 3D printed copy? Apparently not. That's what I, like, assumed once I was told that, but apparently not. Internet autism is wild. Yeah, internet autism, especially if you feel like you have that much hate for the person and it's driven by mental illness, is gonna be rough. Like, how many times has Tim Pool been swatted at this point? Each key notch only has 5 or so possibilities. People have weaponized TISM, find the craziest of details, yeah. 4chan was able to pinpoint the location of ISIS fighters from a flag in the sun. Yeah. The flag has been found enough times for anyone to know that anything can be used. Exactly. Exactly. But, there was a Daily Mail article that came out with a bit more information on this as well. A Japanese woman has been brutally stabbed to death in Tokyo while thousands watched her live streaming herself walking through the streets. And thankfully this guy didn't post the picture, but the person that I quote retweeted, in his replies, there's both like a video feed of the end of her live stream with people in the chat freaking out, and also an image of when the police showed up and just how bloody and battered she was. Like, it wasn't just a single stab. Like, it was bad. The tragic incident took place at 9:50 a.m. local time today in Tokyo's Shinjuku district near the Takadonababa railway station. The woman, said to be in her 20s, was filming herself on a live streaming channel Who Watch when she was randomly attacked by a man who stabbed her in the neck, head, and chest. She was taken to the hospital but later died from her injuries. Approximately 6,500 fans witnessed the knife attack. Viewers described how the woman was heard screaming in the middle of the broadcast, prompting messages from concerned fans. A taxi driver who witnessed the horrific stabbing told Japan Times that he saw the attacker filming the woman and kicking her head as she lay on the ground. Police recovered a knife with a blade about 5 inches long, believed to be the murder weapon. A man in his 40s was arrested at the scene and charged with murder. It's part of the broadcast. The man reportedly told investigators that he had no intention of killing the woman. Police are currently examining the suspect's mental state and motive, according to the Japan Times. A video of the aftermath of the assault shows emergency services at the scene as they tend to the victim as police sirens blare in the background. Japanese police have not yet disclosed the woman's identity, but several people on social media pointed out that the victim was 22-year-old live broadcaster Mogami Ai. However, the voice actor company that represents Mogami later issued a statement that the broadcaster had nothing to do with the tragic incident. Interesting. In the incident that occurred in Takadonababa today, erroneous information was spread and our company's Mogami Ai was mistakenly identified. We have confirmed that this misunderstanding exists, the company said in a statement. Here, we express our condolences to the parties involved in the incident, and at the same time, we confirm the safety of our company's Mogami Ai, and hereby declare that our company's Mogami Ai has nothing to do with the incident. What a strange thing to say. So I guess maybe we don't know the identity of the lady yet? We would like to express our sincere apologies for the concerns and troubles caused to the relevant parties due to this misunderstanding. In addition, we have found that social media account of Mogami Ai has received comments and private messages related to the incident, and her photos have been reprinted without authorization. Since Mogami Ai had nothing to do with the incident, we kindly ask everyone to avoid posting excessive comments or private messages on his social media, and do not reprint his photos without permission, the company said. So their Mogami Ai is a guy? I haven't seen any male pictures, though. Is that just possibly a mistranslation from Japanese? I hope so. A parent on Reddit is asking for legal advice after their 18-year-old daughter was caught on camera vandalizing a Tesla and Cybertruck during a protest, and is now being prosecuted. That made you dizzy! What? The was her resetting. Oh my god. Yeah, that one. This is our legal advice from a concerned parent. I don't know if real or not. You know, could just be someone trolling, but daughter is being prosecuted for a felony vandalism to vehicles, California. What else can be done and who can we contact? I made a throwaway account to post here. My daughter, African American, 18 years old, you know, was involved in a protest at a Tesla dealership. After the protest, she apparently vandalized, spray paint plus physical damage, and breening a Tesla. I don't know what breening means. A Tesla and a Cybertruck that was caught on Sentry mode. How clear are these cameras? She told her lawyer and I that she was coaxed by friends to do it. Coaxed by friends to do it. I'm scared for her and want her to have the best possible future, but I'm afraid she's going to get a harsh sentence if found guilty, which her lawyer said is highly likely given the evidence. Will she be expelled from school? Will she be able to get a job? Anyone have any advice for me or her? I'm shocked! Shocked, I tell you! Yeah, mostly peaceful protests. Classic peer pressure. It sounds like it definitely could just be someone trolling to make fun of all of the people who are currently destroying Teslas. Because a Tesla dealership did get vandalized. Like, that is a real thing. The dealership did get vandalized. A bunch of Teslas and Cybertrucks got destroyed. Like, that is a real thing that happened the other day. And then this person replied down here as well. They're like, there will be protests in Washington 3 days in a row starting today, and protesters are being paid $40 an hour. Ask yourself, who is willing to spend over $32,000 in a few days, and who is benefiting from these left-wing protests? And so there's a Craigslist ad here. Peaceful meeting / protest, $40 an hour. My name's Maria. I need 20 people for a peaceful protest that I'm holding the next couple of days. March the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Please give me a text with your name and I'll provide more details. Compensation is $40 an hour. And then there's another ad here. $40 an hour, need people for a peaceful protest in Washington. I'm hosting a peaceful protest meeting. I need at least 40 people. You would be standing at some points and then walking around holding a sign or a flag. You will be compensated for the day, $40 an hour. I will need you for 3 to 5 hours for the day. Right now I'm planning for at least 2 days of protesting, but I plan on extending to 3 to 4 days. Only serious inquiries. I will provide more details when we talk. I will only respond to text messages. Thank you. And Elon Musk, let me see if I can pull up the Musky Man's tweet here really quick. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, is blaming fellow billionaires for financing protests against Doge and his company Tesla. Police nationwide are investigating a string of attacks on Tesla charging stations, showrooms, and vehicles. There have also been videos of non-violent Tesla protests featuring activists chanting, "Elon Musk has got to go," as advocates link arms and disregard police. The demonstrations have occurred in New York City, Boston, Portland, Oregon, and elsewhere. Musk said over the weekend that investor George Soros, 94, and LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, 57, were some of those involved in financing the protests. The Tesla CEO shared on his social media platform X that an investigation into the protest discovered that Soros and Hoffman were responsible for donating cash to the protest group through the Democratic fundraising platform ActBlue. And we remember ActBlue from many other protests that they had funded previously. An investigation has found 5 ActBlue-funded groups responsible for Tesla quote-unquote protests. Troublemakers, Disruption Project, Rise and Resist, Indivisible Project, and Democratic Socialists of America, Musk shared on X over the weekend. ActBlue funders include George Soros and Reid Hoffman. His posts continue. ActBlue is currently under investigation for allowing foreign and illegal donations in criminal violation of campaign finance regulations. Tesla fire Musk. I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can fire the guy that owns it. He would have to, like, willingly step down, would he not? The left protests are fake, gay, and paid for. Always have been, unironically. Socialism existing at the whims of capitalism yet again. Soros is, you know. This week, 7 ActBlue senior officials resigned, including the Associate General Counsel. If you know anything about this, please post in replies. Musk finished his note, prompting his over 200 million followers to send over information they may know. Unilever to hire influencers to sell mayonnaise and Marmite. Unilever is hiring an army of influencers to help sell its products, as its new chief executive claimed customers are suspicious about traditional advertising. The Marmite and mayonnaise maker has announced plans to spend heavily on social media stars in the coming years, in the hope of winning over shoppers on sites such as TikTok. Fernando Fernandez, that's a real name, who took the helm earlier this month after the surprise exit of Heinz Schumacher, said he wanted at least one influencer promoting Unilever's brands in each area of every country. He suggested that in some countries he would want as many as 100 influencers. Mr. Fernandez, who was previously Unilever's chief financial officer, said, "Today brands are by default suspicious. Messages from brands coming from corporations are suspicious messages. So, creating marketing activity systems in which others can speak for your brand at scale is very important." Fun fact, the "es" ending in Spanish just means son of, so his name is Fernando, son of Fernando. Oh, that's kind of funny. Mayo needs help? Obviously not. I mean, Marmite probably needs help, because who the fuck eats that shit, but I don't think mayonnaise needs help. Both Marmite and Vegemite are disgusting. This is one of those things I will drive like hell in the company in the next few years. Desirability at scale and marketing activity systems of others say at scale will be the fundamental principles of our marketing strategy, and I'm 100% behind that. And again, this doesn't surprise me at all, as I've been talking about how Bridge has mentioned this multiple times since the beginning of last year. I don't think I read their stuff about influencers until maybe March or April last year, so it wasn't like an entire year. But yeah, it's been a hot fucking minute. And again, with the Enthusiast Gaming hostile takeover, the fucking really boring ass NFL page that's funded by Campbell's Soup, Isn't it kind of weird that all of the companies that are pushing for the heavy influencer investment in marketing, because it's just so suspicious unless we can tap into that brand of trust that influencers have, is all pushed by companies who are working together with Bridge? Very interesting. Totally nothing to see here. This social-first strategy is expected to mean that as much as 50% of its advertising spend is allocated to influencers and celebrities. Mr. Fernandez said the biggest challenge of the company would be in marketing, adding, "I need to really ensure that this happens in the company." His comments, made during a fireside chat with Barclays last week, were the first public statements made by Mr. Fernandez since becoming Unilever's chief executive. He was catapulted into the role after the departure of Mr. Schumacher, who was ousted after less than 2 years in the job. Under Mr. Schumacher, Unilever sought to tone down the company's social purpose mission and scaled back its environment, social, and governance targets. Ooh, that wasn't... I can't let you do that, Mr. Schumacher. However, this was not enough to significantly boost Unilever's share price. Announcing the change in management last month, Ian Meakins, Unilever's chairman, said that there was much further to go to deliver best-in-class results. He said the shakeup led by Mr. Schumacher had put Unilever on the path to an improved performance. Unilever is preparing to spin off its ice cream division, with plans to list the €15 billion Magnum business in Amsterdam. It will also have secondary listings in New York and London. Magnum ice cream was really fucking good, but it's so expensive for only like 4 fucking bars. I'm glad I stopped buying their products. Mr. Schumacher last month denied snubbing London, claiming Unilever had to take into account an earlier commitment to the Dutch government over a food and refreshments listing. However, it was viewed as a setback for Rachel Reeves as the Chancellor had met with Unilever officials to discuss the ice cream plans last September. Tofia Chu just posted an Instagram story where she's saying that her car was shot up and Brother Chu was killed. First of all, when you're reporting a death, please don't use names like that. Also, she's clearly freaked out in this video and I don't know what's really happening. What the fuck? This isn't a joke. And my mod said it was safe to play on stream. So before I pull up what else they just linked me, I'm gonna play this.
Oh my god, guys. Oh my god, my family was shot. They killed my brother. My brother's dead. Oh my god, my mom, he took the car. He stole the car and he got out. I said, get out, and I didn't think my mom. Oh my god. My brother looked dead. Help me. Why? Why did people on the internet? Oh my god. No. Why? I have nobody. Why did they do this? You guys, I don't know.
She scammed someone for a McDouble? What the fuck?
I should have never left her in the car.
I should have never quit the nail salon!
He was trying to take the car. My brother looked dead. Oh my god.
I called the cops, y'all, right away. My family, from what I know, they said is at the hospital. I don't know if they're alive. My brother looked unalived in the driver's seat. Bro, if you're actually in a serious situation, it's time to fucking stop the YouTuber language, man. Also, guys, the Instagram story of me freaking out was after I called the cops. They left to find the car. And so, I mean, again, I have no idea who Tofia Chu is. This name is not familiar to me. Thanks to Smokey McCrack, our on-the-ground correspondent. Said, I can't imagine she'd fake this. I'm praying she is, though, because she makes it sound like Mama Chu got hit, too. Why? Brother, I cannot take you seriously when you hit me with the Brother Chu got killed and Mama Chu got hit, too. Like anything with a Chu at the end, my brain immediately goes to Pamper Chu. I can't take it seriously, man. You know all the lore. If this is real, it's crazy. Is Tofia Chu some kind of lol cow? Can you give like a TLDR, like a quick rundown of who this person is? So Tofia Chu is the daughter of a crazy man who makes fires in his house and has a fake bank account and a racist mother. She's now homeless with her brother and mother, so she can't go into hotels because she and her mom crapped on the sidewalk outside of one. Her father used to get bucks and they lived off of it, but he went to jail for kidnapping. Her family are very dirty and crazy people. Her family sounds like my mother. I can relate. I feel like I definitely want to know more because this is intriguing. I want to know about the racist mother. Why is there a fake bank? Why did they shit on the sidewalk? That seems really fucking weird. Who did her father kidnap? Why would he do that? I need to know more. My lolcow knowledge is very out of date. Tofia Chu Sildel is a 30-year-old homeless TikToker based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. She lives with her family and gained notoriety on TikTok for being cringe. Well, I mean, that's every TikToker. If she is, like, TikTok famous, regardless of whether she's, like, lolcow or not, why is she still homeless? Right? Like, wouldn't she just be, like, the TikTok dark side Phil? Like, he still has a place to live. And turning out to be a serious cow who thinks that TikTok will save her family from homelessness. Fans of her compare her to Kirsche in terms of mental stability and competence. Some of her greatest hits include animal abuse. I don't know if I would call that a greatest hit. Cringe TikTok duets, thirsting over Asian men, watching Asian teen porn, and being homeless. What the fuck? What the fuck? And then my mods did post Jimbo commenting on it. Tofia Chu's family got carjacked and her brother was killed. Is that actually confirmed? Someone posted these? What are these?
Sleeping in their car in a Northeast Heights church parking lot were assaulted by an armed man overnight, leaving the son dead and the mother wounded. Albuquerque police spokesperson Gilbert Gallego says the daughter was uninjured.
She reported being awakened by a pop or something and then some broken glass. She turned and noticed that her brother, who's in the driver's seat, had been shot in the head. Then she said the suspect came around and was trying to pull her out of the passenger seat.
The suspect drove off with the dead man still in the vehicle and crashed on Montgomery Boulevard.
Who does that?
From a nearby apartment is credited for killing the suspect as he fought with the driver he crashed into.
What the fuck?
Defense attorney has been implicated in the DWI.
What the fuck? Oh, I guess this is the car that crashed, maybe? The one that is covered in weird fucking paint? Are these the names of songs? DSP is actually immune? I don't know how he keeps doing it. We need to figure out how DSP keeps outlasting everyone, man. Oh, one of these is not like the other, yeah? The new age of lolcows. You heard about the car? I did not. That's crazy. This is a YouTube link.
So officers responded this morning to a shooting.
This was 3 hours ago.
Reported shooting in the area of Ponderosa, near Montgomery Boulevard, and this was near Montgomery Park.
She also drank her dog's pee?
Learned,
what?
It sounds like this all started with a vehicle. I think you can see it resting that way. Was in a parking lot of a church near that park. It's unknown if the individuals were...
Even if you're a TikToker, why the fuck does your car look like that? And also the fact that on top of all of this strange painting is just the word happy in black spray paint. That's creepy. That is scary, man. I'd be terrified of this vehicle. I was just like... Who the fuck would want to attack these people, though? Like, even if they're shitty people, and even if they're, like, crazy fucking lolcows, why would anyone do this? Like, this goes beyond, like, merely tipping the cow or touching the poo. Like, this is a level of insanity that I just cannot comprehend.
Sleeping in the vehicle in that church parking lot, or what exactly was going on, but it was about 3:30 in the morning. There were 3 adults in the vehicle. Apparently,
you think your brother was involved in shady stuff? You don't think it was a cow tipper? I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe we'll find out. I don't know how much information they have.
Them and maybe tried to carjack the car. One of the victims reported that the driver, who was her brother, was shot. And then the suspect tried to grab her and pull her out of the passenger seat. She was able to get away and flee from the victim. There was another female victim, who I believe is the mother of those 2, was also shot. At that point, the suspect fled in their car with the male who was deceased and with the mother who was shot and injured.
That is just actually insane.
They came shortly this way, probably less than a mile onto Montgomery. We're right near Georgia Street. At that point, the suspect was driving their car. He crashed out just a little further down here from me, crashed into a black Jeep. Both vehicles are on scene at that point. The individual who was in the black Jeep then got in a confrontation with the suspect who had been driving the car. That individual noticed that there was someone in the driver's seat who was...
I was about to say, I don't think you want to get into a confrontation with someone who already has a dead person in their passenger seat. That just, you know, not Mama Chu, she's innocent, besides the racism! So basically innocent. I mean, I hope the mother is at least okay, right? Like, unfortunately, the brother lost his life because someone is fucking atrocious at life. But hopefully the mom is gonna be okay. She's in the hospital, I think, is what the other clip said.
Full of blood, and the female as well. A security guard at the apartment complex is down the way here on the south side of Montgomery, then approached the confrontation, and then the confrontation expanded even further, and somehow then they ended up in the parking lot of the apartment complex, the security guard and the suspect.
Have a nice
At that
day.
point, at least one shot, possibly two shots were fired. The suspect was fatally shot. My understanding is he was transported to the hospital but died either on the way or at the...
I want to know what happened with that confrontation, and also if the suspect who killed the brother and shot the mama and crashed the car is now dead, what are we ever gonna find out, like, why this happened? You hope so too. This is sad, no matter how much of a lolcow the family are. Yeah, like, I mean, even people that I would consider, like, massive fucking lolcows, like Kirsche, right? I would never want to see people, like, going out and causing physical harm to them. That is just bad. And Kirsche is a terrible fucking person. Dude raped his mother, right? Like, he's a fucking piece of shit. But I don't want to see people, like, go to his house and fucking harm him. How did the shooter die? They said that the shooter got into a confrontation with the driver of the black Jeep that they crashed into. And then that confrontation went over into the parking lot of the nearby parking complex or apartment complex. And then the apartment complex security guard joined in on the confrontation. And then somehow the suspect who killed the brother and shot the mother ended up dead.
Hospital. The female, all three were transported. So the original male was transported, but he died as well. And the mother was transported. She's believed to be in stable condition at this point. And then the last person was the female who got out of the car back at the park. She's okay at this point. She is with law enforcement at this time. Officers, so we do have different scenes here. We have Montgomery, we have where the crash happened, we have the apartment complex, and we have that area near the church in the park. They're looking at vehicles at that area, trying to see where the suspect came from, who he was, who he is, and going from there at this point.
So just timeline, it started at the park?
This started, yeah, I guess in the parking lot of the church, which is across the street from the park. So it's unknown if they were being allowed to stay there, if they were homeless. That was the initial speculation, but we just don't know at this point.
Are you able to confirm if any of the victims were related to a TikToker, homeless TikToker by the name of Playlist?
I haven't heard anything like that, no, yeah. We're not even...
How come when that person was asking a question, there was, like, a fucking wind turbine in her face? And then that immediately stopped when he went to answer?
Positive that they're homeless or not. That was the initial information.
So the security guard is the one that shot the suspect then?
Yes, as far as we know, yeah.
And the security guard, is he stable? Is he in? He's
okay. He wasn't, and I don't believe he was injured. I'm not sure if he was processed and released, but he's not in custody.
Did the suspect
That's actually just her voice.
They're still determining that. I think they're getting a search warrant for the car, so they'll be looking in the car to see if there's a weapon in there.
And just to clarify, the security guard belonged to the apartment complex there on Montgomery.
Correct.
He witnessed the whole
shenanigans
going on and the shooting.
He intervened, and my understanding is, you know, the person that was in the Jeep, the other victim, felt like the security guard saved his life, got in, intervened and helped save him. So that's how that played out. But as you know, as we know, this is all very complicated with different scenes, and we're still gathering information and trying to identify everyone to figure out what happened.
Can you break it down again with the mother?
So my understanding, so there was a male, it's an adult male, was in the driver's seat. The sister, who's also an adult, was in the passenger seat, and the mother of the two was in the back seat. I think she's elderly. I'm not sure how old she is. So they were all in the same car. I know for sure that the sister was asleep. She was awoken by she heard a pop, and then the broken window, I think, and then she said the guy was trying to pull her out of the car, and she fled. So they, as far as we know, it was a mother and two adult children.
And then, is that the car that's located in the park?
No, so that car, you can get close to the crime scene tape if you want, but you'll see a real colorful car over there, and then there's a black Jeep that kind of just up into that little embankment area.
And then what's the car that's
The
car
adult
at the park,
children.
I think they're trying to determine if that belonged to the suspect.
Whose
That
car
hasn't
is
been
this?
determined at this point.
So where were they asleep at?
The parking lot of the church. I'm not sure which church. Right near Montgomery or Ponderosa, I think.
That's by Montgomery Park.
Yeah, by the library there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where they were sleeping. The suspect approached them there.
Yeah, according to the sister. Yeah. I'm not sure if the other two were asleep. I assume they were all
Just
asleep.
play the
It's 3:30.
docu-vids for Chris
So
Chan.
how did it
Aren't there
transpire
like
here?
100 hours of that
so after
documentary?
the shooting there, the two people were shot. The suspect got in the driver's seat, drove the car this way, east, I think, on either Ponderosa or got onto Montgomery, and then they crashed out into that black Jeep.
The one that's right here.
Yes. And then I think right away there was some sort of confrontation between those two. They were fighting, and after the crash.
And then the security guard intervened.
The security guard was right across the street at the apartment complex. He came across to help. Then the confrontation moved into the parking lot.
This
I
police
think that's
officer,
where
just like me, this is the
man
third
was
time
shot.
he's looped
The
on this in
suspect.
under
So
10
there was a
minutes.
fourth scene. So you said Montgomery Park, and then the crash scene, and then the apartment complex. Where's the other one?
No, it's just three.
Oh, just three.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure. There was a car here earlier. I'm not sure if that was related or not.
Okay. And then in your experience, hearing something like this, what's your take?
It's just hard to know. It's such preliminary information.
It's the way that reporter's asking questions.
We don't
I
even
shouldn't
know if they're
laugh,
homeless
but
individuals. I do know that sometimes churches will let them stay in their parking lot or on their property if someone doesn't have a home. But it's just too early to say what the motivations were.
can you imagine being such a shitty driver you almost immediately crashed the car you killed people for? Well, that black Subaru they showed, the police guy here was just like, we're not sure if this is the vehicle of the suspect yet or not, so I guess they're figuring out who owns that Subaru. So it might not have been like a simple carjacking, because if he already had a car, then like why would he carjack another car? And why would he specifically target a car that looks like that? Is my question. So
The suspect who tried to stole the car, we just don't know.
And just for the community, so is anybody in danger right now?
No. We believe the suspect is deceased at this point.
Sounds like the sister and the security guard are the only ones that were uninjured in this entire...
As far as we know, they were uninjured.
Was the sister that escaped, was she able to call police?
I'm not sure of the sequence of who all called police. I do know that there were several different CADs created and calls created. So when officers got the call about the shooting in that area of the park, it was unknown that this incident happened here a little bit later, but they were within minutes. It happened pretty quickly.
When should the community expect this area to reopen?
I don't know. It's going to be some time. But they've been here since 3:30, so it's been a while.
Ooh.
We are cognizant of the traffic being blocked, but it's past rush hour, so hopefully it won't be too much longer. Anything else? Okay.
Okay, all right, okay. And then my mods also linked me an article. Deadly carjacking ends in chaos and fatal shootout of famous TikToker's family. Around 3:30 a.m. on March 11th, officers responded to a shooting that happened at the Montgomery Park, which is near San Mateo Boulevard and Comanche Northeast. Shortly after the initial report of the shooting at a park, a vehicle involved in the shooting crashed near the 6801 Montgomery Boulevard Northeast area. According to APD, a second shooting then occurred following the crash. We have learned that a violent carjacking near Montgomery Park turned deadly when a suspect crashed his Subaru inside Montgomery Park and then ran through the park, attempted to steal a brightly colored car. Okay, We've learned that a violent carjacking near Montgomery Park turned deadly. So the guy possibly carjacked the Subaru and then ran through the park and then attempted to steal the brightly colored car. Fuck off, box? What the fuck was that? Okay, that is a weird string of events. Why did he carjack the first car if that's the case? That's so strange. The carjacker fatally shot... Oh, sorry, I missed a sentence. A brightly colored car which was occupied by a homeless TikToker named Tofia Chu, her mother, and her brother. The carjacker fatally shot her brother and critically wounded her mother, who was in the back seat of the car, before taking off in the vehicle with the dead victim and the shot mother still inside. While on scene, we observed the famous, colorful sedan of TikToker Tofia Chu within the crime scene perimeter as APD was investigating the scene. The suspect sped towards Montgomery Boulevard and crashed into a Jeep near Marla Northeast. The Jeep's driver, realizing there were injured and deceased people in the stolen car, panicked and began screaming for help. A security guard from nearby apartment complex witnessed the chaos and heard the pleas for help, intervened, and fatally shot the suspect before bringing the violent ordeal to an end. He intervened, and my understanding is, the person that was in the Jeep, the other victim, felt like the security guard saved his life, the APD spokesperson Gilbert Gallegos said. In recapping the story, this appears that it would be a homicide and then a justified homicide when the security guard killed the original suspect. We'll update the story when more info is released. This is Tofia Chu. Oh, I've seen this lady before! I recognize this horror monster! I could not put a face to the name, but I've seen her. I did not remember her name, but I have seen this visage. That's a woman. I mean, there's a very obvious joke I would make, but instead of her just being incredibly ugly, I feel like people would make it a racial thing, so I can't make the joke. Who melted this creature? She looks like a Scottish woman meme. They have a cave troll. I was like, still, regardless of what she looks like and what kind of content she does, I feel bad that what happened to her family and her. Right? Like, that's not okay. We have Infowars reporter Jamie White was brutally murdered in Austin last night after leaving the Infowars studio and returning home. We have a little bit of a news broadcast here. Investigation will be one to watch. You wonder if Jamie's murder was connected to his journalism work or if it was a random crime. That's what I'm also wondering. Because, and I mean, I guess before I play this, I can bring it up. Last year, June 12th, 2024, Jamie White, the guy that was just murdered, said, "I'm on the Ukrainian enemies list due to my work at Infowars and with Alex Jones on the Ukraine proxy war. The group who compiled this list is tied to the U.S. State Department, USAID, CIA, and George Soros." And you got a little thing here, name Jamie White, his connections, his X account, statements that he's made, description, journalist, editor at Infowars. I don't know if this is, I don't know what this is. I don't know what the Ukrainian enemies list is. I haven't heard of this, but I mean, I wanted to bring this up in relation to it since this is something that he posted. This is the little news thing. If it will play.
Police really releasing few details about what happened overnight. But this is what we do know right now. Police say they actually found the victim here in the parking lot of this apartment complex. EMS ended up taking that man to the hospital where he later died. Right now, police will not say exactly if he was shot or stabbed, only saying that he had obvious trauma. Homicide detectives still on scene, as I mentioned this morning, collecting evidence. We've seen also a lot of activity in a second floor apartment where they've been taking evidence bags out. Right now, police say they do not have any information about a suspect, and they're asking if you know something about that to contact them. You can also remain anonymous using Crime Stoppers.
This is a post saying, "I'm grateful to Alex Jones for bringing me on board to wage this information war against the globalists. We've only just begun the fight. Infowars never dies." And then I had another little tweet here from Alex Jones. "We are deeply saddened to inform you that Infowars reporter Jamie White was brutally murdered around midnight Sunday night due in part to the policies of the Soros Austin, Texas DA, Jose Garza. We pledge that Jamie's tragic death will not be in vain, and those responsible for the senseless violence will be brought to justice. Jamie's important work will be carried on through Infowars, our readers, and our cherished listeners." I'm not sure what exactly Jose Garza did.
I'm Sally Hernandez. Police on the scene in East Austin at Douglas Street and Old Torf Street. A 911 call came in just before midnight last night. Bear Tryon has been there for us within the last few hours to figure out exactly what police are saying from that investigation. Good morning.
Police really releasing few details about what happened overnight, but this is what we do know right now. Police say they actually found the victim here in the parking lot of this apartment complex. EMS ended up taking that man to the hospital where he later died. Right now, police will not say exactly if he was shot or stabbed, only saying that he had obvious trauma. Homicide detectives still on scene, as I mentioned this morning, collecting evidence. We've seen also a lot of activity in a second floor apartment where they've been taking evidence bags out. Right now, police say they do not have any information about a suspect, and they're asking if you know something about that to contact them. You can also remain anonymous.
It's like 10 minutes away from your house. Jesus.
It's the afternoon of Monday, March 10th, 2025, and I come to the Infowars family of viewers and listeners into the world with some really horrible news. There are a lot of really cool people that have worked at Infowars over the years, and one of the most amazing people was Jamie White. You know him as a great reporter and researcher. He was up here last night working late during the Sunday show and after it. And we even have his last post on X where he responded to Elon Musk. Jamie was murdered last night outside of his home, just a few miles away from our studios. And we are the folks here breaking that news first because his family has been notified, and his good personal friends here that were very close to Jamie have talked to his folks and family. We sent some people over this morning when he didn't answer the phone, because he's always here early, loves to work, loves to fight tyranny, loves to promote freedom. And when they got to the apartment complex, there was yellow tape everywhere and blood all over the parking lot. And we went and talked to the manager. They didn't know anything. It's like everybody else we see in the left. They just very laissez-faire. But
unfortunately,
crew member saw a police officer and went and talked to them, and they made a phone call, and she had the details when she talked to him and knew Jamie.
Infowars host Chase Geyser, also on the list with Elon and DJT, swatted in his home this afternoon as well.
Dude, what? What is going on, man? Brent Wolfe, thank you for the 50.
Killing me and become Kirsche. But wait, can do Kirsche if I'm Kirsche? Questionably honorable chatters want to know.
Brent Wolfe, thank you for the fucking 50. Huge numpy, thank you. That's a little crazy. Two Infowars guys, one swatted, one murderated, and you expect me to believe it's fucking random? I don't believe that. I'm gonna press X, man. Infowars host Chase Geyser swatted. This is attempted murder by transnational globalist actors attempting to silence journalism. True and real.
I just rushed back home, talked to the cops. There were
oh, this is low.
A dozen cop cars outside of my house.
This is low. Hold on. Let me crank this.
Receiving a litany of SWAT requests for my property via 311 via text. Now, these people are refusing to answer the phone or speak. They say that they can only text. And they said that as I was talking to the police in my own driveway 15 or 20 minutes after the initial call, they said that they were still getting 311 messages about my house. So there was a campaign swatting my property. Alex.
All right, Chase Geyser had to leave about an hour and a half ago, and I'm normally back and forth in his office, but I was so busy I didn't go in there. And he just came running in here. The left just attempted murder of him and his family today. That's what the swatting is. They've done it to MTG like 15 times or something.
Yeah.
They've done it to me a bunch, but the cops know, and so they don't even respond anymore. The first 3 times they came and saw me, later they're like, yeah, they're still...
It's theater to get viewers because Infowars viewership has crashed. Yeah, no, you're definitely right. You're not schizophrenic at all, thinking that they murdered a journalist that works for them to get more viewership. That's... all right, buddy. Okay.
Doing it. Saw it, the gas station like 3 years ago, and then again a year ago. They'll see me getting gas in the neighborhood. That's where they get gas, the same place in the... I live right on the edge of the city, so it's Travis County. And so we've been swatted more than 10 times. But But the police, again, know
And they were
I am.
concerned
They don't
about
know
right-wing
Chase.
violence. What do you mean? This is right-wing violence. If the right-wingers weren't violent, people wouldn't murder them. Duh! As there was a... I don't remember which gimmick account it was. I can't remember if it was like one of the Cope accounts or like a Delusional Take account. But they posted someone... I think it was like Amazing Atheist or some shit. Last year, I guess, he posted that right-wing people aren't actually human, so it's not actually murder when you kill them or some shit. And I was like, what the fuck? What? I was like, at least if he had made like a joke about fascist, I'd be like, okay, well, I mean, we say that about communists, so it could be taken as a joke, but like, what the fuck? TJ went off the deep end. I'm glad I never watched that guy, dude. The non-humans. Redditors have completely lost their mind. This is all over there. I do not fucking get it, man. Legitimately what they think of us. They are real-life demons. It's very hard. It's very hard to, like, talk about things when the people who are, for all intents and purposes, your enemy, are, like, they promote themselves as, like, peace-loving, love-loving, tolerant, and good people, and they demonize and dehumanize their perceived enemies while claiming to simultaneously be the victims. And it's like, you can't continuously cry out as you strike people, because eventually enough people notice how disingenuous you are. And it's like, nobody should be advocating for violence, but I think you'd have to be deaf, blind, and dumb to not notice the, like, two-tier policing that happens, where, depending on how far to the left you are, you're just allowed to wish death on people, or wish harm on people, or advocate for the killing of specific people, and there's no repercussions. Whereas, like, if anyone on the right even says something that could be remotely taken out of context as, like, politicians should have a little bit more fear of their constituency, that gets blown up as, like, they're gonna start planning attacks, they're gonna raid the government offices, all government officials should fear for their lives, the right-wing violence is out of control. People anxious to make phone calls are the ones pushing violence crazy. And I just, like, Hina joins at the craziest of times. It just blows my mind that, like, these people have still managed to delude themselves into thinking they are the good guys. How is your cognitive dissonance that strong, man? And Kirsche, is AIX Jones something seems off on the face? No, he's just fucking old, man. I was thinking that when I started the video. I was like, God damn. The passage of time, like, he just, like, I mean, he doesn't look bad for his age, but you can tell he's aged.
I guess they're fans when he got there. Chase, you just got swatted today.
Yeah, so what happened was I got a phone call about an hour and a half ago, maybe 2 hours ago. I kind of lost track of time. It's been a whirlwind from a deputy, and you know, is this Chase Geyser? And I said yes. And as soon as he said he was a police officer,
nice
I thought
hair.
that he was going to ask me
He
some
looks
questions
dead
about
behind
Jamie,
his
you know,
eyes. It's kind
we
of
did
cute.
the Sunday night show.
Because our main writer just got murdered.
Yeah, our main writer just got murdered, and
he was on the Ukrainian hit list.
And I had texted Jamie a lot on Sundays, as I usually do, about headlines and stuff like that. So I thought, you know, maybe they're just asking questions about what I knew about what he was doing on Sunday. And they're like, no, we're outside your house with your neighbor, and
great, now he's gay. Chat, shut up!
Because there was a call that somebody broke into your house and killed your dog, and that you and your family were hiding in your basement. Now in Texas we don't have basements, so that was the first red flag. And so the first thing I did was
this was something, because, like, my Meme and Pepe obviously don't know what swatting is, but my harassment got to the point where I needed to inform my grandparents what swatting is and have them call their local police department so that they wouldn't get swatted. Because I don't think they would know, like, what to do in that kind of situation. So I wanted to make sure that they were as safe as I could possibly make them. And so trying to explain to them, like, yeah, people who want to harass me because they have this weird, like, scarecrow of lies they built of me in their head want to do damage, and so they're gonna call the police and they're gonna say something like, oh, Pepe went crazy, he has a gun, he shot one of the kids in the house, and he's taking, you know, you as a hostage, and you know, people are worried in the neighborhood, and then the police are gonna come and they're gonna be under the impression that Pepe has a gun and that somebody in the house is in, you know, like critical condition, and that, you know, others are alive but in danger, and they're gonna break in and they're gonna do what they're supposed to do in that kind of a situation. But if you call the police department, you explain to them, like, hey, my granddaughter's a streamer, there are people who are harassing her, those people might start to do things here, so we want to inform you of, like, if you get any calls or messages about, you know, us or this property, call first before you send in, like, a tactical team. The swatting needs to be prosecuted as attempted murder, and people need to start getting prosecuted hardcore for it to make it stop. I agree. I absolutely agree. It's a terrifying thing to happen, especially if it's like my family members that I'm nowhere near and I can't do anything for. Like my, you know, it makes me feel really fucking bad. It's one thing to go after an individual. It's a different level of load to go after someone's family. It's something a lot of streamers have to deal with, unfortunately. Some will be more open about it than others will, because it's like the more you talk about it, the more other people might be like, oh, I want to get my 5 seconds of fame of the streamer complaining about me, right? So somebody's eventually going to get shot by SWAT. I'm pretty sure that's already happened before. The one paid swatter from California got caught by the feds. Good. I think I vaguely remember talking about that one. Unfortunately, it's super patchwork right now. It needs to go federal. Yeah, there definitely needs to be consequences for people who do this shit. The H3 shit is wild. You don't even like Ethan, but holy lord, what happened now? If something new happened with him after all the Hassan stuff, I don't know what happened. Some shitlord got a few years in Florida for doing it. I'm Florida. I'm glad that Florida fucking threw someone in jail for that. If it did end up with a shooting and didn't need to occur, you're also hurting the cops for their life. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Kirsche only complains about me when she catches me telling people that Kirsche Verstal actually means cherry hunter in German. That's the cutest lie ever told about me. Getting closer to the point, the death penalty or life in prison needs to be on the table for swatting. Just move to Paraguay, use your address. You're getting bored lately. I saw you mention that you might be able to import, you know, the America only merchandise. That'd be interesting if you managed to do that. You'd have to inform other people of how. Attempted murder needs to carry the same consequences as murder. Swatting needs to be attempted murder. I agree. There's no other reason that people are doing that, because that's what it will result in. Fake SWAT should get you at least 5 years in jail. Fucking bare minimum, dude. Don't do that shit. H3 got CPS sent to his house over the Hassan. What? Yo, after this video, I'm gonna need to read that, because what the fuck? Hassan fans spammed CPS to get Ethan's kids removed? And I thought Destiny's audience was fucking unhinged. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. I keep my DMs open on Twitter, like, just in case, you know, something important happens to slip through. I'm probably not going to notice it for, like, weeks anyways, but just in case. It's like, there's another streamer whose audience is, like, a level of obsessed with a certain type of pornography that I could not fathom. And they keep sending me this pornography in DMs. And it's just like, brother, if you think that someone likes something and you claim to hate something, why would you spend your time even AI generating the thing that you think you hate and then sending it to someone you think likes it? Like, what is the logic here? What are you doing? Here, check out Destiny sucking a please do not send that to me. Let's finish the news broadcast so I can look at the H3 thing.
That my wife and kids weren't home. They actually weren't. They were getting groceries.
That's
and
good.
I just rushed back home, talked to the cops. There were, I don't know, half a dozen cop cars outside of my house. And they said that they have been receiving a litany of SWAT requests for my property via 311 via text. Now, these people are refusing to answer the phone or speak. They say that they can only text. And they said that as I was talking to the police in my own driveway 15 or 20 minutes after the initial call, they said that they were still getting 311 messages about my house. So there was a campaign
so fucking stupid,
swatting my
man.
property today, Alex.
And they're imagine what they're doing to Musk and to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And if they think, because I learned about this a few weeks ago when Musk was here in town, I'll leave it at that. Imagine what they're doing to them.
Yes.
So this is the terrorism campaign, as I told you, ratcheting up.
Absolutely.
And to show what a small world it is now, this touches me, because I always care about you as well. My middle daughter does babysitting for you. She's over there.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
Where my kids are. This is the evil of these people.
No, he doesn't understand. It's not terrorism. They're not evil. They're the resistance. They're the strong and proud revolutionaries fighting against the oppressive regime. So that makes their violence good, actually. That's scary. Yeah, the mindset of these people is actually fucking horrifying.
Bunch of cowardly scum, Chase.
True.
Let me guess, this isn't going to intimidate you.
No. I mean,
is it going to make you fight harder?
Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely.
And, I think it's related to specifically.
Like when people target you like this, they want you to give up, obviously, and even when you do, they're not going to stop. So like this kind of thing just motivates people to push back harder, to go faster, to point out more about how the people doing this are disingenuous pieces of shit. It's like this is not how you garner people to your side. This is how you make your perceived enemy far stronger. Like, it's insane to me. The Resistance TM, backed by BlackRock, Coca-Cola, CNN. Yeah, I'm a resistance fighter. That's why I agree with everything the establishment says. But Kirsche, Donald Trump is president now. That means he's the establishment. Yeah, okay. I don't know how these people can not understand that just because Trump is president, that doesn't mean that every single captured institution for the last many decades is still under the control of progressives. Thank you, Cartman. Yeah, I don't know how I managed to sound like Cartman, but that was kind of impressive. that was kind of, I don't know how I did that, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that again. Bad kitty! I can't do it again. It's gone. It's gone forever. That was a fucking one and done, man. Bad kitty! I wish I could do it, man. I don't know how I did that.
There's been a lot of talk about this Ukrainian enemies of the state list. Jamie was on it. Alex, you're on it. I'm also on it. I reposted earlier today that I was on it. And I think a lot of the Ukrainian supporters, I don't know if it's from Ukraine or not, it could just be leftists here in the United States, are using that list to weaponize swatting.
That doesn't surprise me.
Of course they are.
So, yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened in my house today. Sorry I had to leave the office, Alex.
And then imagine the police have already had their funding massively cut. They've got all this real stuff to deal with. And then they're constantly running around to the swatting events.
Absolutely. And
my
I will
voice
say
range
the
is ridiculous sometimes.
Big
Thank
Infowars
you.
fans, big fans of the Hodge twins specifically, they said. And as soon as I walked up, they're like, oh, this makes sense. they just like recognize this because a lot of the guys in blue, they
still ask you a walkthrough, just like it just guaranteed.
No, I didn't. They didn't ask to go in my house, and I didn't offer.
Well, they even knew it was pure bull.
Yeah.
Because the first two times they said, look, we know you're, because I was never there, and they said I was killing my wife the first two times, and then she wasn't even there, like playing tennis or something. Middle of the day, I got to rush home. They're like, okay, well, we need to still go look.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, sure. And they go around, okay. And of course, we don't really have basements in Texas either. You don't have a basement in your house.
Right. But that, and the reason they call and they say that someone.
I think it sounds like Ukrainians. Look, they're doing it themselves. It's NATO, buddy.
Yeah, 100%. And I've been, very adamantly opposed to this war ever since the beginning, as of you, Alex. And
well, I showed all Jamie's articles they put on the hit list. It was all true. It's all come out to be true.
100%. They gave $63 billion to Ukraine on Hitler's birthday last year, while our Congress waved Ukrainian flags. April 20th.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
And they give a standing ovation to a real Nazi in Canadian Parliament.
I know.
How do people follow you on X?
Just follow me at Real Chase Geyser, but the most important thing you can do is follow at Real Alex Jones and go to the AlexJonesStore.com.
All right, we got
get your soup of
coming in.
male
Your calls
vitality.
and more. Stay with us. The Infowar rolls on. Share the live feed of Real Alex Jones now. Now, do it. The bullies hope you won't. Take action.
Gooby. Oh, it ends super early. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? What is happening? Why is he an anime? Oh no, I can't find out why he's an anime. Low tier Jones. Twitter died. It won't let me play it.
Twitter, why?
With the emotion. Or you just can actually channel Emperor Palpatine's my favorite. If I really need some energy, it's like a long road trip.
Why is there porn music
18
playing?
hours, don't drink coffee. I just literally go, no, no, no. Power! Unlimited power! Little trick. That's Jones Motivational. And the one place you support this battle and get the best supplements, Trilogy, silver flexible coins sold out, theologicalstore.com are still available at realadamjones.com.
He's just a silly little guy. He's just a goofy little dude. H3H3 plans to sue streamer Denims after false child neglect claims. Internet drama takes a serious turn as online accusations turn into real-life CPS visits for Ethan and Hila Klein. She looks very angry. Ethan Klein of the H3 podcast is getting ready for a legal battle against Twitch streamer Denims following a distressing visit from Child Protective Services. The CPS visit was allegedly triggered by false rumors circulating online that Klein's child was neglected and had contracted an illness from unsupervised interaction with the family dog. What? The controversy erupted when claims spread that Klein's child had contracted Giardia. Giardia? Did I pronounce that right? After eating dog feces. Klein and his wife Hila quickly refuted these allegations, clarifying that while their rescue dog did have Giardia, the illness didn't affect any family members. And see, this is why I always say correcting stuff is important, chat. Correcting lies is not touching the poo, as it were. And when you correct people who are lying, the liars themselves are never going to stop. You're not correcting the lies for the sake of hoping the liar stops, because they're never going to. They're going to keep doing it and hope that more suckers believe the lies. You're correcting it so that more people will be able to see the physical evidence of what's actually real. You counter it for the sake of the truth actually being out there and other people reading it, not for the liars themselves. Like, you can't fix that. Take the Godzilla shirt off, Ethan. What? Klein directly blamed Denims for amplifying these rumors during her live stream, which he believes led to the CPS investigation. The H3 podcast host described the home visit as an intensely stressful experience for his family, prompting his decision to pursue legal action. You can hate a person as much as you want, but dragging their family into it should be an obvious red line. Commented one supporter echoing the sentiment of many in Klein's corner. Not everyone is convinced the lawsuit has merit. California defamation laws typically require public figures like Klein to prove actual malice or reckless disregard for the truth. Some online commentators question whether the case would survive an anti-slap motion, which protects free speech against strategic lawsuits. Others have claimed the controversy stems from Klein's own statements on his podcast being discussed by others, complicating the legal picture. Legal experts point out that Klein must demonstrate a direct link between Denham's statements and the CPS investigation to have a viable case. This isn't the Klein's first legal drama. He and Hila have previously been involved in several high-profile controversies with other internet personalities. The couple is known for their commentary on internet culture and current events through their popular H3 podcast. What did that say? Top 20 Twitch streamers? Okay, interesting. All he has to do is show the things she said about Asmon trying to get him whacked and he will win. It's also like, I think the Final Fantasy XIV streamer, Xenosis, I think his case for his stalker and the guy who was like trying to defame him, he won that, which obviously he should have. But I think that kind of also sets precedent for streamers being able to do something about people who are constantly harassing them in like a real world kind of way, right? And I would say getting CPS called on you is a real world kind of way. 21 Kirsche. I mean, I guess. I wonder who these people are. Read about fastest growing streamers of 2024. Top 20 streamers by year-over-year viewer growth. A Queso on top. Kadrill, never heard of him. Jinxie, I don't know who that is. Ebi, I don't know who that is. Kai Cenat. Wow, Kai Cenat is below a bunch of people I've never heard of. Asmongold, I figured he would be larger. A Stable Ronaldo, I think I've heard that name before. A Pampa Plate, never heard of him. Nix, don't know who that is. Montana Black, never heard of him. T2x2, never heard of him. Hassan Abi, oh, I didn't realize Hassan was so small. Drake, of course, never heard of him. Tumblr, never heard of him. Junichi Kato, never heard of him. Maximum, never heard of him. Starly Blog, never heard of him. Elias N97, never heard of him. Raider, never heard of him. And Martin Sirio K, never heard of him. Average monthly viewer growth. I mean, that's big. If the like 5,550 is like average viewer growth over month to month, that's kind of fucking insane. That is an insane like growth spurt. Never heard of him. Just lost all meaning for you. What do you mean? Never heard of almost anyone on this list. Yeah, right? Appropriate time to size queen? What? Queso is huge. Yeah, Queso's fucking massive, man. That is insane. Why is my never heard of him so funny? Is the Boston maybe? I don't know, it makes it sound silly. Why I go after children of a streamer even if you don't like the streamer? I mean, yeah, it's fucking disgusting to go after their family. It's disgusting to go after the streamer in real life, period. But to go after their family is just like another level of low. It's not nice to call him massive, maybe rotund. I like Queso. He's wholesome and funny. Queso's huge, but we should really just talk about his numbers. Jesus Christ. So, from the thing I wanted to bring up earlier, talking about like when someone irrationally hates you so much, they start defending things that are fucking retarded. Like, Rev Says Desu has been talking about this, like, fucking weird-ass groomer VTuber for ages. They already had me blocked. Like, that's what I responded to Savvy. I was like, I went to look at their profile, they already had me blocked. You know, Rev's fucking got this. I've retweeted a couple of things that he's posted. Kids can consent to medical treatment if they've been informed enough and are under careful watch of experts. And Rev was like, you just described the grooming aspect of your ideology, which they did. And then the groomer says, grooming is when experts educate children. If you're on the side of arguing that children are capable of giving consent, you've kind of lost the plot. You've kind of fucked up somewhere if you're trying to make that argument. And so someone deleted a post and conceded, bless. Oh fuck, I'm on the wrong account. I shouldn't like that. I do that all the time. Where I like something on the wrong fucking account. But I have a bunch of reply guys that just like reply to all of my tweets with like just random inane bullshit because they have a hate boner for me that has lasted more than 12 years and they can't seek medical attention anymore. One of my reply guys who loves me so very much, thank you for all of your marketing, Pride of Bridget said, good, any VTuber with actual morals should block your bigoted ass. Imagine seeing a VTuber advocating for children can give consent and saying, good, anyone with morals would block Kirsche. And so, like, normally I don't reply to these people because it's like they're not worth spending brain cells on. But I was like, brother, I know you're a retard reply guy who posts on every tweet I make, but for the love of God, don't let your weird hatred of me make you defend people making the argument that kids can give consent. When your Kirsche derangement syndrome gets so fucking large, you don't even look at what you're defending anymore. You just immediately default to anything against Kirsche is good, which, considering I am against child giving consent, you might wanna, I don't know, make a little bit more brain activity before you defend things. It's heckin' proven science that kids need to permanently alter their body to satisfy a fetish. It's just good, okay? Kirsche derangement syndrome. I have achieved unwillingly and accidentally what centrist YouTubers flatulated themselves over for years. They wish they could be me, and I wish they could have what I have to deal with instead. Wake up, hater, you're a monster. I didn't even see half of these replies either. Shaming is powerful, we should use it more. I think this freak has a twisted crush on you at this point. They all do. It's kinda nuts.